it's a beautiful day. This is a beautiful day.
To be watching Azael's video.
So I'm going to start this interview with how many high schoolers in the church participate in seminary?
Oh, wow. If we go across the entire world or the United States, there's a lot that participate in early morning seminary. Thousands. My daughter teaches also, and our class last year had 12. This year we had 6, but my daughter's class had 28 this year. So just in 2 seminary classes within 10 minutes of each other, we had 40 students.
Okay, and like seminary and other religions, do they gain a certificate and or graduate?
Absolutely. In fact, you can get college credit from seminary in some areas. We are actually working with the University of South Florida. We have a big institute class over that meets at the Fowler building right across the street from the University of South Florida. So we work with them, and our program is designed under their curriculum for a religion class. We study the 4 major scriptures. We are Old and New Testament, along with the Pearl of Great Price and the Doctrine and Covenants and the Book of Mormon.
Would you say seminary affects students' grades?
Absolutely. I have seen it. I am 66 years old. I went to seminary when I was in high school, all through my 4 years of high school. And in our classes, almost every single student was A/B students. And I've noticed with my students, absolutely, their grades are affected. They're all good students. They have the desire to do better. And getting together in the mornings, it just gives us an upbeat to go to school before we go to school.
Facts. Okay. Are you paid in this role?
I am a volunteer. There are some seminary teachers that are paid, but our role is as volunteers.
And why are those seminary teachers paid?
Because they are the ones that teach out at BYU and the different church colleges, and they have the seminary classes during school hours where we have it on our own time.
Will the habits gained from seminary be beneficial in the future?
Absolutely. You take students and they learn in the early mornings, they learn the facts about the Old Testament and the New Testament, their Savior. They're going to be able to carry all of this through and teach their children. And a lot of our students go on missions, which they need to be prepared for. And if they know their scriptures and they know where to find things and answers to questions about religion, they're going to be much more successful on missions and as parents.
When was seminary created/introduced?
Well, I actually have some literature on seminary, and seminary was born during the 1948 and 49 school years. They started having it in Salt Lake City, and then within the program in California started slowly with the fewer than 200 students enrolled for the first classes. But that number had doubled by the end of the year, and after 6 years, more than 9,000 students were enrolled. So that was back in 48 and 49 and 50. So if there was 9,000 students enrolled then, you can imagine how many students are enrolled today.
What does a typical seminary day look like for you?
Well, my studying starts the day before. I usually study 2 to 3 hours the day before. And then I get up at about 5:15, and by 6:15 my students are starting to arrive. And then sometimes I will have to take them to school, but I would say from about 5 o'clock until about 8 o'clock in the morning, we are doing seminary.
What rules must seminary students follow?
They have to study. They have to be able to participate. And then after they do their learning, everyone has an exam at the end of the first semester and an exam at the end of the second semester that has to be passed in order to graduate.
How often do the high school students study?
Regular basis. They study every day. We study together, and then they study and prepare for their test.
What do students sacrifice to attend seminary?
Sleep. They sacrifice their sleep in the morning, but I think every one of my students would say that it's well worth it.
Yeah, that's cap. It's not worth it.
They get to socialize with their friends, and they go to school on an upbeat. They're happy, and it just brings in a new focus, and they're excited to be here and happy to be here.
All right, last question. Who's your favorite student? No, I'm just kidding. What is the biggest blessing do you think seminary gives your students or you?
I believe so strongly in the Spirit.
1 hour later.